Atomic Monsoon.
Welcome to the Monsoon.
Hey, it's Atomic Monsoon.
Oh my gosh, Andy, where are we?
Stephanie, I don't know.
Oh, we're quarantined because that's what's happening right now.
Yeah. So for anybody wondering, today is March 27th, 2020, and COVID-19. Anyone in the future listening to this, I presume this will end at some point, but COVID-19 is ravaging the world, and we are all quarantined at home. So Stephanie and I are coming to you from the comfort of our own bedrooms.
Yep.
And we thought, hey, we should do an episode about what kinds of pop culture things we've been enjoying while we've been under lockdown. As far as I know, all of us are fine. None of us are.
Yeah.
Everyone's healthy. Everyone's just being cautious. So that's good. All of my roommates are okay. Everyone over here is good. How are you and your husband, Steph?
We're doing pretty good. Just, doing what we can, living life, being stuck in a condo for 2 weeks, like you do.
Sure. Yeah.
Working from home. But we're both healthy. We're both fine. So, and technically today is our 14th day. So the 14 days of quarantine since we actually got back from San Francisco.
Okay.
So the fact that we're both still doing okay is a good sign.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
I'm at about day 10 right now myself. So
okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. But so far, all of us are fine. So we're doing good. So hey, what have you been doing?
Well, I mean, aside from working from home,
right,
obviously, because we still got to work and be a teacher from home, which has been really strange.
Yeah,
You know what I have been doing? Checking out Def M Records.
Hey, those are the guys that do our theme music. They're pretty great.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, actually, while you're under quarantine, you could go to Def M Records, DEAFMRECORDS.com, and find yourself some new music.
There you go.
And actually, speaking of music that you can find, today, in fact, our guest from last summer, Dana Jean Phoenix, just released a new single on her Bandcamp account. And it is her doing a collaboration with the group Power Nerd. And so you can pre-order the record that's coming out at the end of April and download the first single today.
Very nice. Awesome. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah. I downloaded it right before we got on here, so I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. But both Dana and Power Nerd are pretty great for my musical tastes. So
very nice.
Yeah, should be good times.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So now to go back to your question about what we've been doing, has there been any TV shows or anything like that you maybe brand new, like you've never watched before, that you decided to take a watch of during quarantine, Andy?
There is, and it's probably not an answer you would ever expect. I was, I'm a big fan of old 80s and 90s sitcoms, right? And I was like,
sense.
well, I should sit down and watch some of these. And then I was like, like a lot of times I'll have Netflix or Hulu running as I'm going to sleep, right? And just have an episode going and fall asleep to that. So I've watched a bunch of my favorite shows multiple times. So I thought, well, I should watch something new, something that I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy, right? But it's still kind of lighthearted and silly. So I have been watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
I loved that series growing up.
Yeah, I watched it a handful of times when it was airing. But it was part of TGIF, so it was on Friday nights, and it was on while I was in high school. So many Friday nights I either wasn't home or I was busy doing stuff on the internet. So I missed a lot of it. In fact, probably 99% of it. So I thought, well, it's all on Hulu here. So let's give it a shot. And I've gotten through about a season and a half.
Very nice. Yeah, no, I grew up watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I'm pretty sure I've seen more episodes than you, but I will definitely admit I have not seen every episode of Sabrina.
Sure.
But that show is incredible and amazing. When they came out with the new Sabrina series, I was like, all right, I'll give it a chance. Was a little disappointed that Salem the cat wasn't sassy, but do what you can.
I heard today. So my brother is working for a sandwich shop, and he is delivering sandwiches. So he is one of those people on the front lines of everything right now, still making sure everyone can get food.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, I want to get a giant sub, so I'm going to do that, and I'll eat half for lunch and half for dinner. And I did, and it was great. And he delivered it. So he and I were talking a little bit for a few minutes before he had to get back to delivery. And he mentioned that I guess the actress that plays Sabrina in the new Netflix series is allergic to cats, which they didn't know until they were filming the pilot. And the cat that is Salem in that series was in her arms. And then she ended up getting really itchy and sneezy and stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so unfortunately they were already filming it. They'd already cast everything. Everything was underway, and during filming they realized she was allergic to cats. So that is why Salem is a much smaller part of that show, which is very unfortunate for everything. But
yeah, that is very sad.
Yeah.
So, cool.
But yeah,
awesome.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch herself started in the old Archie comics.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with my love of comics and my growing love of Archie as I get older, which is strange. The more and more Archie properties I can delve into, the more fun I have. So
there you go.
Yeah. So how about you? What's something you've been up to for the last 14 days while you've been under lockdown?
Well, so recently, and this is something that I think Facebook's algorithm has kind of set up for me. It wasn't intentional. It was just one day I was scrolling through Facebook and there was a video from The Big Bang Theory that came up for like its very last episode.
Okay.
And I remember watching at least the first few seasons of The Big Bang Theory, and then at some point I just stopped. Don't remember how or when. I did. And then when I saw this video pop up, I watched it, and then I saw a couple more videos, then a couple more, and the next thing I know, I'm sitting at a work event watching several dozen of them because there's nothing else I can do. And so I was like, you know what? With this quarantine, I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch the entire Big Bang Theory. And so far, I am about halfway.
Okay, that's a lot. That's impressive.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of plowing through episodes fairly quickly. But, now I'm watching the series and I still thoroughly enjoyed it from when I first watched it.
Okay.
But, I mean, obviously, it's on like streaming services, but it's kind of hard to like watch it without paying a whole bunch of money for it. So thankfully I found a site that's allowing me to watch it.
Sure. Yeah. I watched the first 2 seasons of Big Bang, I want to say. And then, I know that there are a lot of geeks and nerds who have issues with that series. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. I decided I didn't care for the show once it started focusing more on Sheldon than on Leonard, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the first season was kind of perfect, where it was, can this nerdy guy get the popular girl to agree to go out with him? And that first season ends with Penny agreeing to go on a date with Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
And I, honestly, if it was a movie, that would have been the perfect ending.
It would have.
I would have been fine if there was no more of the show after that. But what did it go, like 10 or 11 seasons or something?
12.
12, right. Yeah, we've talked about that show a lot on this show, and I always forget how long it ended up going.
Yeah, no, it is now currently the longest running sitcom series, or I think series in general. Actually, no, that's not true, because I think Grey's Anatomy and like Supernatural are on like their upteenth season. But it is one of the longest running sitcoms of all time. So.
Okay, yeah. Unless we're not counting The Simpsons.
We are not counting The Simpsons.
Okay. Big Bang Theory has been officially named the longest-running American multi-camera sitcom with 276 episodes, defeating Cheers, which had 275.
Wow.
So, yeah.
One episode more.
You beat Cheers by one episode. Yeah. So there you go. Congratulations, Big Bang Theory.
There you go.
Oh, I see. It was 276 episodes to date at the time of that article, which was last March.
And the show ended last year.
Right. So, total it had 279 episodes.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, so still only a few, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the longest running shows. Let's see. The Simpsons is still number one with 679 episodes.
That's insanity. So
Here's the thing about The Simpsons.
mm-hmm.
If the characters in The Simpsons aged in real time, Bart would now be older than Homer was when the show started.
I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this knowledge.
Yeah. It is a little. It's one of those things that like makes the show very special because like, hey, Bart's been 10 years old for 31 years, which is literally impossible. Even shows like My Three Sons, which also lasted like 10 years, and they wrote one of the Three Sons out in like the 4th season, and they had to adopt another one because the kid got too old. Like he aged out, he went to college and went away. And like, you can't run shows with a family with young kids for more than X number of years. But because The Simpsons is animated, and the voice actors all still sound pretty similar to how they did in the first season, and all are still there. They've made it work.
No, they really have. So I mean, there's another show if you guys want to go binge during this quarantine. It's on Disney Plus, and I think on Hulu too.
Yeah, Hulu has the current season. Disney Plus has all the past seasons.
Got it. Okay.
They've got it split up.
There you go.
Speaking of My Three Sons, this is a weird segue.
Okay.
There's a YouTube series on the channel Pop Arena. I've been watching it, called Knickknacks. And I think I've mentioned it before. This guy's going through the history of Nickelodeon from literally its beginnings as a 12-hour-a-day channel that only showed one show called Pinwheel. And he's going through every show in order. The very first episode is kind of about the origins of cable television, which is like something that you wouldn't have expected on A History About Nickelodeon. And he's doing every show in order. And the episode that came out today was about Mr. Ed, but the one from last week was about My Three Sons because during the summer of 86 or 87, I don't remember what year he's in right now, Nickelodeon ran a thing called Summer Camp where they were basically advertising to stay-at-home parents over the summer, like, hey, we air shows like this on Nick at Night, so if you like your nostalgia for your 50s and 60s TV shows, Mom, in the 80s, you should buy our nighttime. You should call your cable company and demand that they don't cut us off at 8 o'clock at night and start watching Nick at Night.
Yeah, there you go.
So look at that. Nickelodeon, even 30-something years ago, was using nostalgia to advertise to parents.
There you go.
This is not a new thing. But yeah,
no.
Pop Arena on YouTube, and they do the Knickknacks is the thing. And if you want to know the history about Nickelodeon and the history of cable television in general, it's pretty fascinating. The episodes are all like between 25 and 45 minutes long, except for the one about you can't do that on television, which is an hour and a half.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's plenty of content there.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, so oddly enough, old television and Nickelodeon are two of the segues I wanted to go down at some point. So I'm going to go down the Nickelodeon one first.
Sure.
Just because we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So one show that I always find myself binging, especially if I have like a long summer or like a weekend or just something where I just want to do something, for fun. I always find myself going back and binge watching the Nickelodeon series Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like I think I have binged that series so many times in the past, like several years now, to a point now where I can quote some of the episodes. And it's only 3 seasons long. It's like maybe 20 episodes max per season.
Yeah.
But it's just 65. Really good.
Yeah. I think it's 65 episodes total, but yeah, that show's pretty solid. I haven't seen every episode of Avatar, but it is good. I've seen probably about, I want to say between 40 and 50 of them.
Okay.
My roommates were binging them for a while, and if I was home, I would sit down and watch them with them. But sometimes they'd watch when I wasn't here, so I'd have to kind of fill in the gaps. But I've also read comics for 30-something years, so that's fine.
There you go.
30. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So so Avatar for your Nickelodeon segue. What about other old TV shows?
Well, this one, so the other night, my husband and I, we were sitting on the couch trying to figure out, something that we could watch. And we kind of debated watching series that we've seen before, watching something new, because, we're still going to be in this quarantine for God knows how long.
Sure.
We were just like, let's figure out something that we could watch. And one thing led to another. Next thing we know, we're making a comment about the show MASH. He starts singing the theme song. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to look it up real quick on Hulu, see if it's on Hulu. Because it was on Netflix. Wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Found it on Hulu, and now we've just been watching MASH.
Ah, fantastic.
Yep. I even texted my own father, who's a huge MASH fan, and was like, hey, guess what we're doing? We're watching MASH. And he's like, excellent.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah. So in kind of an old TV and new TV way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had actually before this all kind of started going, before the world started going crazy, I started watching Star Trek: The Next Generation again, since that's all on Netflix, and I'm like midway through season 2 right now, and I figured, hey, all right, like I'm gonna have time, so I might as well watch Next Gen, and then I'll get CBS All Access and watch Picard, right?
Yeah.
That all seemed like a pretty good idea. And then CBS All Access was like, hey, you basically get a month for free right now. Like, you need to sign up, but let me give you a month free of CBS All Access.
Seriously? They put it to a month free? Because like when I looked like a couple weeks ago, it was still only 1 week free, and then you have to pay for everything else.
Yeah, they changed it like earlier this week.
Dang it.
Just a couple days ago.
All right. To the internet.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So lots of streaming, lots of television and streaming.
Oh, yes.
Been going on for sure. What else have you been doing? Have you watched any movies or have you guys played any cool games or anything?
Movie wise, we watched WALL-E the other night.
Okay.
Because we both made a comment about WALL-E, and we both made the realization that we haven't watched that movie about the adorable little robot in a while. So we watched that. And it's still just as good as it was back when it first came out.
Sure.
Let's see what else. We've also, so towards the end of the day, at least like last week, I started getting to a point where I was like, I could not just stay in the bedroom. Because to give you an idea, we live in a 1-bedroom condo. And so my husband's been out in the living room doing his work out there. And I've been in the bedroom doing my work in here. So that way we're, separated by a door and some walls. So if we're both on a phone call or doing videos for whatever reason for our students, they would not hear us.
Sure. Yeah.
So, or hear the other person, that is.
Yeah.
So,
so you're not interrupting each other's work. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So at one point I was like, all right, fine. I need to get out of the room and just do something else. So I started getting out of the room and started playing Sims 4. Okay. On our PS4 with like the TV muted, because I don't need to hear, them talking in their weird alien language while I'm playing.
Right.
And then just a few days ago, I've decided to pop in my copy of, and I haven't played this game in many, many years. And last time I played this game, I played it with a group of friends that were all guys. But I popped in Madden 20.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I popped in the Madden game that has Patrick Mahomes on the front and decided to play Madden. So far, Connor has me beat, I believe, 5 games to 1.
Okay. But you won one. But you won.
Yes, I won one game.
Nice.
And oddly enough, it was when I was playing as the New England Patriots. Which, if for those of you that don't know, I'm a huge KC fan, and obviously Andy's from Boston, so it's kind of funny that.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, no, we've been playing Madden, and it's been kind of like a nice little fun thing just to kind of relieve stress at the end of the day that we've been doing. And then that's pretty much it for the gaming, though. I kind of feel like I need to go back and keep playing Kingdom Hearts, but I don't really want to have it muted.
That's fair.
So
yeah. I kind of messed up my shoulder a little bit, so having this time at home has been actually pretty nice. So I can let it like between tasks, between work tasks, I've been sort of just laying down and relaxing and letting everything stretch out, and stretching a lot. But And I'm getting it. I can tell it's getting a little better every day. And yesterday is better than the day before. Or today is better than yesterday. Yesterday is better than the day before. Right now is better than last Monday, which is the last day I had in the office. So it's in progress. So I haven't done a lot of gaming. I've been playing some stuff on my phone, Marvel Puzzle Quest, which I've been playing for, probably close to like 4 or 5 years now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I guess I am playing some games on my phones too, huh? But I'll let you continue.
Yeah. Words with Friends, right? Which is, not Scrabble, you guys. My mom and a couple of my aunts have, we've all just been playing games like literally forever. It's probably been like 10 years that we've been playing. And so, I'll, every couple hours or so I'll check and like, oh, someone made some moves. Cool. And I'll, make a couple moves and that. So yeah, gaming's been a little lax on my side, but my roommates have been playing the new Animal Crossing game.
I've seen so many people on Facebook playing that game. I don't own a Switch, but after everyone posting about it, I'm like, I want a Switch now so I can play with all of you because I'm lonely.
Oh, yeah. So it's been
Switch.
interesting. It's been interesting to see just in the last week, like how they go from kind of their empty island to, two of them are playing together, right? So they live on the same island because we only have the one copy of the game. So they're like on the same island and they have 2 houses and they're both building little gardens for themselves on there and everything. And it's cool to see the whole build out of what they've been doing. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm feeling better, some in the next few days here and up to. I did try playing games and it was too much of a strain on my shoulder, which is unfortunate because I would totally be playing Street Fighter Online like every time I'm not working, right? But unfortunately, that's a little too aggressive for me right now. So, but I do have a good library of old Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis cartridges that are just kind of sitting here collecting dust otherwise. So it would be cool to have, I have the time now, so it'd be cool to sit down and play through some of these, some of them that I've never beaten still. So yeah. One thing we have been doing is I was just thinking like, hey, we're all home anyways, right? And we're all kind of working from home in our separate bedrooms like during the day. Why don't we all come together in the evening, right? Me and my 3 roommates, and we'll just watch a movie every night at like 7. And everyone was like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. So we've been doing that since sometime last week.
Cool.
So yeah. So we're again, right, things that are just sitting on the shelf, right? We got all these movies just sitting here. Yeah, so I've been keeping track of what we've been watching.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Because I thought this would be a cool list. Not necessarily for Atomic Con, too, like just it'd be a cool list in general. So we watched Back to the Future.
Okay.
We watched Men in Black.
Ooh.
We watched Snatch, which was a 2001 British gangster movie.
I've never heard of it, but sounds interesting. Go on.
Yeah, I've watched it a couple times. It's pretty fun. It's kind of violent, so it's very rated R.
Okay.
How to Train Your Dragon, which I hadn't seen before, actually.
Oh, it's such a great movie.
Yeah. Short Circuit. Speaking of adorable old robot movies.
Okay.
Short Circuit actually doesn't hold up quite as well as I had remembered it doing so. Fisher Stevens. Well, Fisher Stevens is a white guy playing an Indian, and with a very stereotypical accent. And he's also the very lonely, very thirsty nerd, right? So there's like a lot, like in addition to his accent being incredibly offensive to Indian people, it's also just like, dude, like get a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pleasantville. Okay. We watched Pleasantville.
All right.
Roman Holiday with Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck, which I had also never seen before. Okay. And then last night we watched The Iron Giant.
Oh, that's such a great movie.
Yeah.
I love The Iron Giant.
Tonight is my turn to pick a movie, so I'm not 100% sure what I'm going with. But yeah, it's been a fun way, kind of at the end of everything, like, hey, it's 7:00, we watch a movie, it'll be, about 2-ish hours, and then it'll be like 9, and then, we can all separate again or go to bed or whatever. But that way it's like, hey, if we're all going to be in the house together and we're all going to be kind of busy during the day, at least this is a way to like well, we're all here. We might as well hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're gonna hang out, like, here's a thing to do while we're hanging out. And all of us just have a ton of movies that we don't watch because everything's on streaming services now. So figured, let's take some of the stuff off the shelf and watch some of that.
There you go. There you go. That's, we did that. We did that a couple nights ago because there was one day where we briefly went over to Connor's folks, and we ended up going through this collection of VHS tapes that they had. And when we were going through it, they had a copy of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command.
Is that the animated?
Yes,
sorry.
It's the animated. Yeah. For those of you that don't know that are listening, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command was Pixar's first animated straight to VHS movie and TV series that came afterward that played on like Disney Channel. And it was really good. I loved it growing up as a kid. It was probably one of my favorite like movie. If I had to pick any Pixar movie, that one being included, I would pick that one. But if I cannot include that one, it'd be Toy Story 2. So
okay. All right.
But, we ended up watching that the other night. So we popped it into Connor's still working VHS player and we watched it.
His still working what?
VHS player.
You mean VCR, right?
VCR, yes. Sorry. I speak words.
It's a very common mistake. And it makes sense because we're all used to, it's a DVD. What does it go in a DVD player? It's a Blu-ray. What does it go in a Blu-ray player? Right? It's a VHS.
Yeah, exactly.
What does it go in? A video cassette recorder, because it does more than just play them.
Yeah, no, it's been so long since I've actually used it that I forgot what to call it.
No, and you're not the only one. You are far from the only one. I have some friends that are older than me that will still slip and accidentally call it a VHS player. And I'm like, guys, come on.
VCR.
It's a VCR.
Yeah. So, but that was a cool nostalgic thing that we did. So
yeah. So Buzz Lightyear Star Command, that's the in-universe series. Like that's the series Buzz Lightyear comes from in the Toy Story universe, right? So that's the show that Andy was watching that Buzz Lightyear originates from.
Yes.
Okay.
So which after watching that show and, realizing the already amazing voice cast, but now understanding who they all are and who they've played and like things that I've seen more recently, but also just watching it and going, you know what I should do? I should make a Mira Nova, which is the female character from the show, cosplay and wear it to con and see how many people recognize it. Cause that would be so underrated. People would be like, whoa, where did you pull that from? Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, especially now with Phoenix Con being postponed until September, I have time.
Well, at least September, right?
At least
still, yeah. We still don't know how long everything's going to be locked down. Hopefully, hopefully everything goes quickly. I don't want to accidentally spread any false information, so I'm not going to speak in any facts. I tried to get my news from the CDC and the World Health Organization as much as possible about all of this. Because everyone else puts too much of their opinion in it, and this is not a time for opinions, in my opinion. So,
fair enough. Yeah. So, so I've been doing a little bit of that, and I've also been watching a lot of Winter Guard, and now within the last 24 hours, Drum Corps performances and videos and things like that off of like YouTube and Facebook, and even the copies that I have, because as sad as it is to say, back when I was in San Francisco, WGI, Winter Guard International, which I still want to do an episode, by the way, talking about all this stuff. The Winter Guard world and the band world that I come from, they posted that they were canceling the remainder of their season.
Yeah.
And then WGAZ, the local group in Arizona, did the same thing. And now just yesterday, Drum Corps International, which is like the, it's drum and bugle corps marching band on steroids for those that don't truly understand. It takes place over the summer. They've just canceled their season this year. And so now it's like, oh, well, now I'm sad. I will watch all this stuff now.
It's, it is a shame. I was supposed to go see a band called the Cybertronic Spree in a couple weeks here. But yeah, people canceling performances, people canceling their seasons, people
today was our last day of Tech Day, technically.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a bummer, but also, you know, you want to, as they're saying, flatten the curve. You want to make sure other people aren't getting infected. You know, you want to make sure, even if you're healthy, you want to make sure you don't have something floating on you that you accidentally spread to someone else.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah.
It is a bummer.
It is. But, you know, overall, like, unfortunately, a lot of people have gotten sick. A lot of people have passed away. But overall, like, I feel like most people are handling this pretty well. Now, it could just be that
actually,
I have kind of echo chamber of intelligent people on my social media. But
Same.
It does seem like most of the people I know are staying inside and only going to the store when they absolutely have to. And you know, and other than walking the dog, I've been doing the same. So
yes, that's kind of the same on our end, except we don't have a dog to walk. We just go out to walk ourselves.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Walking our virtual dog on Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Man, I haven't played Pokemon Go in forever.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot recently just to kind of get steps in and stuff. There's also a Pokestop down the road, so I just hit it as we're walking.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
okay. So we don't know how long all this is going to last, obviously. But in the time that we have off, are there any shows or anything that you are planning to watch? Is there anything you would like to do?
Yeah, actually. So back before all of this really started to escalate to the level that it was at, I think actually the last episode I was on, we talked about Star Wars: The Clone Wars coming out, season 7.
Oh, that's great.
The 6th episode is dropping today, so we've been watching that consecutively every single week.
Okay.
It has been phenomenal so far, by the way.
Cool.
Love it. The first 4 episodes are called The Bad Batch. They're fantastic. Watch it. Even if you're not in Clone Wars, just watch it.
Sure.
But we've been looking forward to that every week to watch. I've been looking forward to watching shows that are kind of like they were pre-recorded beforehand, but they're kind of dropping them as they go. So I've been watching The Masked Singer, which now, because of the quarantine, my husband has sat down and started watching with me, and he's also sat down and started watching The Voice with me.
Okay.
And he's thoroughly enjoying it. So there we go.
So those shows have got to be pre-recorded then, right? Because there's no way they're doing those live with those audiences.
Yes, the way at least The Masked Singer is that it's all pre-recorded.
Okay.
So that kind of is nice. They've already done all this stuff like well beforehand. The stuff with The Voice is they were pre-recorded up until like a certain point, and then they go into what is known as the live playoffs. But based off where they're at currently in this season, that's not going to be till May. So right now they're still like, I think we're fine. We're good.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping.
Here's hoping. If not, they're probably just going to pre-record it and then just drop it all as a pre-recorded playoffs instead of a live one.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, while we're talking about pre-recorded live events, this show, WWE has announced that WrestleMania will be taking place over 2 nights now. They'll be broadcasting from the Performance Center with no audience because they were going to be broadcasting from the 67,000 seat the football arena where the Buccaneers play in Tampa.
Okay.
But given everything that happened, they thought, well, maybe we don't put 67,000 people from all over the world in one place.
Yeah.
So instead, they're pre-taping matches, and they're just going to air them on Saturday and Sunday next weekend, April 4th and April 5th.
Nice.
Yeah. So that way, they're still having the matches. They are still having wrestlers in the ring together, but this way they're cutting down on the number of people who are there at a time. It's just going to be whoever's in the ring, plus the referee, plus the camera people. I don't know. I don't think they've announced where the announcers are going to be. I don't know if they're announcing live or if they're announcing in the studio otherwise or whatever. But yeah, so we're going to look back on WrestleMania in 10 years and be like, why is there an empty arena? And then everyone's going to remember, oh, that was COVID-19 year. That was
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I congratulations to WWE for being responsible and trying to keep their fans safe. I know Raw and SmackDown, they've been both airing older episodes of stuff and doing empty arena stuff as well. All Elite Wrestling as well has been doing empty arena things. The 1 week they did have the other wrestlers in the crowd, but now that everyone has kind of agreed, like, yeah, no more than 10 people in a place at a time, they're like, yeah, this is unfortunately, we're not, we're not doing it live. We're pre-recording and everything. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But, on one hand, I completely get wanting to have, some live competitive event, right? Because with all the major sports canceling their seasons this year, which again totally makes sense. It is nice that wrestling is going forward, and they are supposedly doing tests before everyone, like as everyone enters the arena, to make sure that they're healthy and stuff. But in WWE's case, they really don't need to, and they could just run spotlights on wrestlers, and I have the WWE Network, man. They have millions of hours of content that they could just repeat. So we'll see how everything plays out. But WrestleMania next week is going to be weird. The shows have been getting progressively longer as they try and get more and more people on the card every year, and fans have been kind of saying a couple of years like, hey, some of the promotions in Japan and some of the smaller ones in the US do 2-day events. What if you split WrestleMania up 2 days? And this is the perfect time to try it.
Yeah, really is.
So they're giving it a shot, and we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, we'll have to keep our eyes open then.
Yeah. Me and some friends have already made plans to get on Skype or Google Hangouts or something and get in a group chat, and we'll all watch it on our computers together.
There you go.
From our separate houses. But because we all get together to watch a handful of wrestling pay-per-views every year anyways. So this way, okay, well, we're not all gonna, one of my friends was just in Hawaii right before everything kind of shut down. One of my friends was out of town. So we're all like, okay, well, we're all still kind of in that 14-day self-quarantine period. So let's not go to each other's houses and get each other's roommates sick and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or other, right?
Or
yeah. So so we're finding a good middle ground, which is, between Skype and Zoom and Google Hangouts and Facebook chat. There's plenty of ways to get groups of people together still. And if we all, it's going to be broadcast live on WWE Network anyway. So if we all just, log in and hit watch live and hit the chat room and have one window with the wrestling and the other room with the chat room, yeah, great.
There you go.
It's more or less the same thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just not going to be hitting each other's hands in the chip bowl.
Yep. All awkwardly like a...
Yeah.
So, that's cool, yeah. Connor and I have, my husband and I, we've kind of been talking about, some other things that we could look forward to do. And on all honesty, it's kind of there's not a whole lot to really, look forward to. Yeah. Not because, we don't really have cable or, TV or anything like that to look forward to. We just have, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Disney Plus, things like that. But the one thing that we have talked about doing is that because Disneyland and Disney World have actually posted virtual videos of their rides and everything, we've made a joke that we should do a day at Disney from our house. And then we added on to the joke that we should contact my best friend who actually works and lives at Disney in Florida. And should, have her join in with us. So it's we're at Disney together, even though we're still at each other's homes.
Yeah, that could be fun.
A cheap day at Disney.
Yeah.
So
don't have to pay for flights. Don't have to pay for hotel. Don't have to pay for it. I guess you have to pay for admission, right? Because it isn't free. But yeah. But still, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So. But yeah, no, we were talking about some stuff like that, and in all honesty, I think we're just kind of taking it a day at a time, still keeping in contact with our folks and our families, and until they completely lock down Arizona, and once we're kind of completely in the clear, we're gonna at least try and go and see them if we can.
Okay.
If there's a way to, but not in the sense of go see him, hang out for the whole time, but just be brief passing of hello.
Yeah. If you guys are all comfortable doing that, then for sure. But again, it is recommended that everyone not visit people.
Well, yeah, no, I'm making that joke probably because Connor's family lives so close to where we do that it's just if we just drive our cars by each other, we'd wave and say hi.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But but my dad lives like 30 minutes south of here from where I am, so it doesn't really work out that way.
Sure.
So
yeah.
But we're definitely keeping in contact with our families and things like that. And I'm actually going to turn this all the way back around to because you mentioned mobile gaming earlier.
I did.
You did mention that. And I've actually been playing some mobile games as well when I don't really want to stare at my computer, so I want to stare at another screen.
Right.
I've actually been playing, so there's I have like a decent number of games on my phone, but not like a whole lot. But I've definitely been getting back into some old games I haven't played in a while. I've been playing a game. All of them are Disney games, no surprise.
Sure.
But I have been playing Pokemon Go when we do kind of go out for just a little walk to get some fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Disney Emoji Blitz, which is like this, emoji kind of Candy Crush type game,
Sure.
but with emojis. I've been playing another one called Disney Getaway, which is kind of like a popping colors type game. Disney Kingdoms, which is where I get to build my own theme park, which has been kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been getting into this thing called these choose your own adventure story type app games where it's like, here, create your character, now meet these characters, and then you kind of get to choose, who will you fall in love with, who will you hate, who will you become king, will you, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just kind of been fun doing some of those when I don't really want to sit on my computer and continue and do any more work or keep watching The Big Bang Theory or even continue with my writing, because I've been doing writing now with the quarantine happening.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I also just to completely change subjects, but continuing on, what we've been up to. I've been reorganizing my comic book collection.
Very nice.
Again, I figure we've got time. I've got time.
Yeah.
And this is something I've been wanting to do for about the last year, but it's a big project because I have a lot of comics. So I'm taking my time with it. I've gotten through 5 boxes now. And just kind of recataloging everything and making sure I have an accurate estimation of what I do and don't still have, because I have been buying and selling a lot of stuff over the last few years anyways. And so some stuff I didn't record when I bought it, and some stuff I forgot to delete out of my old cataloging, right? So yeah. And it's been interesting going back and be like, oh, I still have that. Why? And I'm gonna have a chunk of things to bring to some comic shops or used bookstores or something after all this is done and over with. Because there's some stuff that I bought it and I enjoyed reading it and I don't need it anymore. It's
there
just
you go.
Yeah, so I'd rather share it so someone else can love it. But and I guess I could sell it online right now, but I really don't want to go to the post office.
Yeah. Valid.
Yeah.
And you don't exactly have a car to do the mailbox drop off.
Right. That's the other thing. So that's a whole other can of worms right now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just kind of been play it by ear, do what you can do, try to find the fun in things. We have been playing a lot of board games recently, actually.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up to my roommates to do over this weekend is pull out some of our games and see if they want to clear off the kitchen table a little bit and get together for a while. Yeah. So what have you guys been playing?
Let's see. We played Settlers of Catan Game of Thrones edition a couple times.
Okay.
I have lost each time that we have played, just because I still don't quite. Not that I don't still quite understand how to play Settlers of Catan, but there's definitely a lot of strategy involved.
Yeah, and it can be very complex very quickly.
Yeah, and especially with the Game of Thrones version, where you actually have to prevent the wildlings from coming over the wall, and there's whole extra rules that go with it too. That I'm too busy. I don't want them to come over the wall, so I'm trying to put guards up there while everyone else is building their roads and their settlements and everything.
Yeah.
And then let's see, we played Ticket to Ride, which is this fun game where you make trains and long routes from different points of different countries or states or whatever version you have. We played that one a couple times. I almost won. Almost. And then I lost.
Okay. Okay.
We played Super Fight.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We played Super Fight.
The here's a thing, and then argue over who would win that fight.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Like here's a handful of cards that add you get a velociraptor wielding a baby that holds a laser gun or whatever.
Exactly.
And then goes up against a 50-foot man made out of butter.
Yep.
And you have to argue who would win that.
We had an interesting one. I think. Let's see here. The Pope beat the devil.
Interesting. Okay.
Which I guess kind of makes sense
Sure.
when you're playing. But at least he was like fully armored too. So then Robin Hood beat the Pope.
All right.
It kind of kept going, but we've come to the conclusion when I play with my husband, and especially if we play with his family or anything, MacGyver will always win.
Yeah, that's
because he can do anything. He can create and make anything out of anything to beat you, and it's like, and I'm like, I can't win if he keeps arguing with me that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah, so. Yeah, MacGyver's a pretty good trump card in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was a lot of fun to play that. We also played Jackbox Party Pack.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like the fun little party game you play with the whole family type of thing. We were playing that with Connor's family kind of virtually. We played, Party Pack 3, and then we ended up playing the new one, which is Party Pack 6. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's just been it's been a lot of fun, at least in the evenings, trying to figure out what to do. During the day, it's kind of been, kind of on the boring-ish side.
Yeah, get up, do some work, kind of kill time between tasks. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. And when I only have a singular class to teach, that work takes maybe an hour, maybe 2 to get done, and then I'm like, well, now what?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've got a little more work than that, but
yes.
But there has been plenty of downtime as well. So,
yeah. I mean, it only takes as long for me because I have to look up online. How do I teach tech theater online?
Yeah. That can certainly be tricky.
Mm-hmm. I figured it out.
Oh, good.
So, right now they're learning about QLab.
I don't know what that is.
It is it's a Macintosh or Apple product only software system where you can actually create like theater cues for sound and media and lighting. But right now they're just doing it for sound, but I'm teaching them how to use it because that's a very handy software to use as someone who has used it multiple times and loves it to death, but is sad because they have a Windows computer.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have to use the Windows equivalent of it.
Yeah, but knowing how to use that will only give your students more places that they can work in the theater world.
Exactly.
More skills. So, yeah.
More skills.
Listen, I want to say to you and to any other teachers that are listening, thank you and congratulations on figuring out how to work virtually with basically no training on how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my relatives and friends that have kids are, some of them are not necessarily having their kids home all day the best. And it became very apparent very quickly to a lot of people how important teachers are and how watching some of the, not that I have a lot of teacher friends, but I can't imagine that going from, and by the way, this is how you teach class virtually in case of a pandemic. That I'm pretty sure that didn't come up in your teacher training at any point. So,
not really, no.
No. So the fact that everyone's kind of been able to figure it out, and everyone's doing the best they can, even if it's not perfect right now, everyone's doing what they can to make it work as much as possible for every student. And that's great. And I'm really glad to see as many people coming together to get through all of this as much as possible. there
for
was,
sure.
yeah. And, everyone's still working. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people have lost their jobs because of all of this. But everyone that I have been able to talk to who still has their job, like they're all still working. Everyone's still doing everything they can, just, more remotely. And, I think, the plus side of all of this is we're at this weird point in history, but we actually built an infrastructure where a lot of people are able to work around it. Right.
Yeah.
And that's incredible because that
is really incredible.
Even in 2000, if this had happened 20 years ago, most people didn't have high-speed internet. Most people didn't have internet at all, and it would literally just be people couch surfing all day. Or people having to go into work to do their job because there would be no other way to get stuff done. And it's watching all these 90s sitcoms, and watching early internet, right? Oh, hey, we just got a computer with 1 meg of RAM. Yeah, great.
Good job.
I get a 56K modem. Oh, okay. Well, welcome to 1997. Right, but watching all those old shows and seeing early internet and comparing that to where I am now, where I'm literally watching these shows on the internet 20-something years later, it makes me appreciate how much the world has evolved. I mean, hell, we're recording a podcast on the internet that's going to be distributed exclusively over the internet.
And we're doing it from our bedrooms. And the engineers and at Voice America, fortunately, are still going into the studio to make sure all of the shows at Voice America can get recorded. And, here we are. Thanks, guys.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But I think...
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, thank you for that compliment, Andy. That felt really... That was really nice and everything. I mean, for me, this is technically still my first year of teaching. So this still... It hasn't hit me or impacted me quite as greatly as it is all of my other teachers that I work with.
Sure. Yeah.
But I'm definitely trying to be there as a moral support for them, kind of being look, I can figure it out. It's kind of hard for someone who teaches a strictly hands-on class in the sense of set building and lighting and design. But I can figure it out. There's YouTube videos for everything online. But for the other teachers, like the dance teachers, the band teachers, those guys, they have it a little more difficult. And, I'm definitely, trying to be a moral support for them as much as I can, from, my little condo.
Right. Right.
But also there's people who are still, your brother who's still working, serving food for people, and the people working at the grocery stores and gas stations and all these other places just to make sure the world is still functioning in some way, shape, and form. Yeah. So thank you to all those guys.
Yes. Okay. Well, we are out of time. So but that's okay, because now that we've got this figured out, we can come back next week.
Yay!
And maybe have a proper topic, and maybe Josh will be able to join us next week. Unfortunately, because of all of this and the extra stress and people not going into the studio to record, he has some extra work, so he wasn't able to join us today. But hopefully we'll get everything all worked out for next week. And so hit us up on social media: Atomic Monsoon on Twitter and Facebook, atomic_Monsoon on Instagram. If you have topics you'd like to have us talk about, atomicmonsoon@gmail.com. And hell, you're at home. Go back and listen to all of our previous episodes.
Do it. Do it now.
All right, guys. Be safe and be excellent to each other. And
of course.
We'll see you soon.
Yes, and one more thing I just want to add real quick. I told my friends I would do this for them. Please check out Mischief and Madness on Twitch. They're an up-and-coming D&D gaming channel, so they're very good friends of mine. I told them I would give them a shout-out on the show, so please go check them out, guys. They stream almost every day and definitely every other Sunday for their D&D campaign. So go check it out, guys.
And that was Mischief and Madness?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, guys, go check them out.
All right. See you guys.
Right. Take care.
Bye.